good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this July 10th version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. We're glad that you are here this morning. And all of our content can be found at EOA.network, EOA.network. And it's just Kyle and I here this morning. Glad that you are here with us. We've been talking offline about food.
Yeah, about jellies and what got us started on that?
I don't know.
Oh, me telling you about Marco and his birria tacos. At the farmer's market. I'll give him a little plug right there.
Yeah. You know, over the years, I know that big cities have experienced with the food trucks and all of the variety, and but that is coming. In the last 3 or 4 years, it's more a part of the culture here.
Yeah, we're going to be getting a new food truck here very soon.
Really?
The president of Optimus, Nick Hickey, he just went and got his trailer yesterday.
Really?
So he's on his mission and it's going to be, he's a good cook. He really is.
Well, and I see that. I just see a number of restaurants and businesses that along with what they're doing in-house, they're getting a truck or some kind of a mobile thing. And yeah. So, no, it's just funny how business is always evolving. We're experiencing that with the media and everything that we do, but on the same time, you have a restaurant, and now, if you have a restaurant and you've honed your skills all of these years to take care of the customers that walk through the doors and serving them and so on and so forth. But it's just the market is changing. Yeah. People are more mobile. They don't want to sit down as often and go through the time. They just want to grab it and go. And
I don't like going to restaurants very much. It's okay, but it's not mine.
No, but it's like, but that's your perfect example of how business, whatever it is, whatever business you're in, it is just evolving and changing.
Well, you have to cater it to the needs and the wants of the customer. And, otherwise, they don't buy it.
Well, and part of it is our society is just, especially with phones, it's more mobile.
Yeah. Yeah.
People they're.
I know people that have a vehicle, can drive, that still order DoorDash. Like, the only time I order DoorDash is if I don't have a vehicle.
Right.
I don't have a way to go pick it up myself.
Right.
Because that costs an extra, like, $7 probably.
Yeah.
Total, maybe even a little more
after
tip and everything. So it's like, if I'm going to pay $15 or $12 for food, another $7 on top of that to have it delivered when I could just hop in the car and drive 5 minutes and go pick it up.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me.
No, and the price, right. I agree with you. I've never ordered anything on DoorDash, and I very seldom will ever order pizza and have it delivered or whatever case might be because of that. You've just got to pay. You got that extra cost on top of it. So, and it's expensive. Tanya and I, she had a meeting at 6:30 yesterday, and so then we ate here in town, and it was $50.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Easily. I was looking, I'm not going to say any names, but I was looking at a burger place here in town, and it literally for a burger and a large fry, if you wanted a large fry, and I don't know what that means, but it was $29.
Yeah.
For a large fry and a burger.
Yeah.
$29?
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money
for one person.
Yeah, when I can go right down here to the snack shack at the baseball game and get a nice burger for $8.
Right.
Like,
well, and what's funny is that an $8 snack shack burger seems a lot. Times. Yeah, but it's just it is not in comparison to like something else. Yeah.
Not even close. Like I could get 2 burgers for the price of one at the snack shack.
But it's just all changed. And it seems like COVID just launched us into outer space with a number of different things like that. Everything just took a gigantic. The $4 burger now became a
$8 burger.
$8 burger. Yeah, and so
the craziest thing is when you look at those menus from I looked at a menu at McDonald's from 1997. Okay, that's the year I graduated high school.
Yeah.
It was $2.99 for a quarter pounder with cheese meal. Meal. BC, it's like $6 or $7 for just a burger now.
Yeah.
Or maybe even more.
No, yeah, right. It's just sticker shock all the time. But on the same hand, I have to remind myself. So it's like, I love donuts, and
So do I.
And there's a good donut shop in Pendleton, and so when we're going that direction, we'll stop but the donuts are all $3 or $4 a piece,
Which is crazy.
which seems crazy, and I agree. It's like especially because you used to be able to buy a dozen donuts for less than $10 or something like that, right?
Yep.
But now that I think about it from a business standpoint, it's like, well, how in the world would you make money? How in the world would you stay alive charging $10 for a dozen donuts? So anyhow, I understand the prices, but at the same time, the traditional me is like in total shock.
So what I don't understand are like I'm all for, like raising prices as things get more expensive.
Yeah.
But that doesn't give you the leeway to take it to a higher percentage than what. So say minimum wage doubles or triples over 10 years. That don't give you the right to that don't give you the leeway to make your food 4 times more expensive.
Right.
It should stay more in line with how much people are making, and it doesn't. That's the problem.
And that was, you and I were talking the other day about a restaurant that charged $7 for hot tea.
Yeah. That's criminal.
Or the soft drink was $5.
That's criminal because that costs literally 10 cents.
Right. And I agree with you. Maybe that's gone up in that time, but still, it is like, it's got to be. That soft drink couldn't have been more than 50 cents.
Yeah, at the most.
Yeah, and
it's 99% water.
Yeah.
And water's pretty cheap.
That's right. It's just
and a lot of them don't pay for the cups.
Right.
If you're getting a to-go cup, those come with the syrup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a built-in cost.
Right.
It's crazy, man. It's $5 for like a 20-ounce soda. I get it. You don't have to buy it.
Well, this was a sit-down restaurant, which is, again, you'd never pay $5 for. You'd never go through McDonald's and pay $5 for a soda. Nobody would ever do that.
No. Well, one day they will.
Well, right, but not now. But when you're sitting down, you're a little bit more of a captive audience, and so it's like, yeah, a lot of people are just drinking water.
Yeah, I've told you this story before. My ex's grandparents, very well off, like airplane and helicopter in the backyard, well off.
Yeah.
We used to go to dinner with them quite often, and they would both order water with a lemon and squeeze the damn lemon in and put some sugar and make lemonade, so they didn't have to pay for it. I guess you don't get rich by wasting your money, you know what I mean? But Jiminy Christmas, I was just like, first time I saw that, I was just like, I looked at her and she's just shaking her head. I was like, what is going on here?
When Kathy and I were young and didn't have kids and married, we went out with another couple that was the same age. We were all 4 of us were in college. We went to Pizza Hut, which was a big splurge. So then Kathy and I ordered soft drinks. Well, the other couple that we were with, they just got water because they were trying to save money, But we were both at the same economic place. Well, so the waitress brought them drinks for free because they felt badly for them. and we're like, wait a minute, we're just as poor as they are. So we ended up paying for our soft drinks and they ended up getting theirs for free.
Yeah. That's funny.
Funny thing. So
that's good.
Yeah. All right. Well, you want to do sports?
Let's do it.
All right.
AM Sports Report brought to you by Hobby Habit in LeGrand. Don't miss out on their Traxxas All-American Summer Sale. Save 10% on Traxxas' most popular models during the All-American Summer Sale. Get to 411 First Street in LeGrand. Hobby Habit has the best selection of Traxxas in Eastern Oregon. just for the fun of it. The 16U Legion baseball team, the Legends, pulled out a thriller in 10 innings last night down at Optimist, winning on a walk-off bunt by Bryler Anderson that turned into a throwing error on Pendleton that ended up scoring 2 runs. LeGrand was down by 1 at the time, and they walked it off. I think the final score was 6-5, but at the end of the game, I'm always too busy taking pictures to really pay attention to the scoreboard. I know it was either 5-4 or 6-5. It was right in that range. They play again on Friday, the 16U team, down at Optimist versus Baker at 2 p.m. and then Fruitland at 7. Baker and Fruitland will play in between. So there's 3 games down at Optimist on Friday starting at 2 p.m. The 2025 Oregon East-West Shrine All-Star Football Game is literally right around the corner. Saturday, July 26th is the big day with our live coverage beginning at 6 p.m. and streamed everywhere you can find EOA Live TV. We're still looking for businesses to advertise. Check this video out right here.
Hello there, my name is William McLaughlin, and I am the play-by-play announcer for this year's EOA Live sports broadcast of the Oregon East-West Shrine All-Star Football Game. And it is truly an honor. This game means a lot to me, not just because it showcases great athletes from around the state of Oregon, but also because I was once a patient of Shriners Hospital for Children. Shriners' motto is love to the rescue, and they truly mean that. The work they do for children is truly amazing, and it makes a difference. Trust me, I know from personal experience. If your business is interested in being a game day sponsor for this year's game, reach out to EOA TV today. We offer multiple sponsorships, including game title sponsor, game sponsor, quarter sponsor, replay sponsor, and more. Consider being a sponsor today. Not only does it go to a great cause, but it's also a great way to promote your business throughout the region and on the only broadcast of the East-West Shrine All-Star Football Game.
If you have a read or a pre-made commercial you want to run during the game, get a hold of us, like William said, at office@EOA Live TV, or message either Brent or I or the EOA Live Facebook page. This is a big event seen by people all over the Northwest and, all over the U.S., really, highlighting Oregon's best 5A and below football players, and it would be a great opportunity to get your business or your cause some more exposure. That's all I got on is today Thursday? Yeah, it is Thursday. That's all I got on a Thursday. AM Sports Report brought to you by Hobby Habit, 411 First Street in LeGrand, just for the fun of it.
I know. Sometimes
I had a brain fart there
they
for a
kind
second.
of blend in.
I have it written down on my thing.
Yeah. No, kind of blends in sometimes.
Oh, it's already Thursday. This week is like, ching, ching.
Yeah.
See ya.
So, yeah. Well, hey, let's take a look at the weather real quick outside. It was nice last night. It cooled down. The night before, it just took forever.
It was humid the day before. It was horrible.
Need to change the clock. Look at that clock. It's like 7:56 on that clock outside. Yeah, that's not right.
Can we even get up there?
Well, no, it's changed through there, through the
web.
program. Yeah. And I don't know why it doesn't. It should that computer. It's a computer that's plugged into a computer, and the time is supposed to sync with the computer.
I don't think it's working.
I don't think so either. But I have to go in there and I hit the button that says sync the clock, and that's when it resyncs. Yeah. So anyhow. And it's not even close. Sometimes if it were an hour off, then I would think, oh, it didn't.
Daylight savings time.
Right.
Change.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's. Well, what? Is it? How far off is it? It's 8.
It's like 30 minutes off.
It's 15 minutes.
15 minutes off. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Anyhow.
That's weird.
Yep. So, all right. So let's look at that graphic, Benny. So it's going to be close to 90 for the next many days.
Yep, all the way until next Thursday.
With no rain in sight.
I could live with that.
Yeah.
I just like that sunny sunny, 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 sunny.
Well,
sunny.
and let's see, what are the evening temperatures? As long as it gets down, into they're all down into the mid 50s. I can't quite see it. But
Yeah, high 50s.
Yeah.
There's one day where it gets down into the mid 50s.
Yeah. So, anyhow, as long as it's cool in the evening, when you and I both talked about how live in the like the Midwest, and this time of the year. In fact, we were talking to Tanya's kids the other day. They're down in Texas, and I mean it's 80 degrees at night.
Yeah, and humid.
Yeah.
It is gonna be humid here though. Like the humidity right now is 60%. It's
Yeah.
That's kind of high for here for this time of
Yeah.
year, but
Well, and that just makes heat
miserable.
absolutely
Yeah,
miserable.
humidity makes it just when you breathe, you can feel the air going down your. You know what I mean? It's just miserable. I went to Atlanta, Miami, and Jackson, Alabama one time. So we went to Atlanta for a few days. We went to Miami for a few days, and then we went to Jackson, Alabama for a few days. And I got on the plane in Portland in a sweatshirt and sweatpants. Just
Oh, my.
comfortable travel.
Right, right.
I was literally walking off the tarmac in Atlanta, and I was soaked.
Yeah.
As soon as I got off the plane, I was just
No,
wet.
and that feeling when you go down when you get out of the plane and you're
Yeah.
going down the tunnel
oh.
to the air, then it's like, yeah.
And it wasn't even the crazy thing is those the air conditioning doesn't really get into those well. You know what I mean? So it's basically like you're in a hot box
Yeah.
walking from the airplane to the airport, and it was miserable.
Yeah.
Like it was literally miserable.
Yeah.
I changed my shirt 5 times that day, at least traveling. And when I was in Jackson, Alabama, I was changing my shirt like 4 or 5 times every day.
See that? Yeah.
Because you move and you're sweating.
Right.
Like
Yeah. Yeah, I did years ago. I was down in Phoenix during their monsoon season. I had no idea that it could be so hot and rain at the same time.
Yeah, that's wild. I've only ever been in Phoenix during the summer when it's like just dry heat and it's
Yeah.
well, Scottsdale. not
Well, and that's
Phoenix.
what I was prepared for,
Yeah.
but there's just there's a couple of weeks there during their summer or early in their summer. I can't remember when it is that it is just super humid. It's awful.
Yeah, so the place that I lived when I was in college is Hallandale, California. That's where my grandparents lived, and I drove down to Riverside. But it's this place called Silver Lakes, and the Indians literally call that area the hole in the sky because it never rains there. It never rains. It's the high desert, and it never rains. Well, like my son was like maybe like 5 or 6 maybe, and my buddy Mike had never been to California, so I said, hey, let's take a little road trip and go see my grandpa, and you know what I mean? So we hop in the car, we get down there, and it's I don't know, January, I think, somewhere around there. It might have been February. And we literally pull in that same day, it dumps like almost a foot of snow. And I was telling Mike how nice it is in
Right.
January. Like, we're going to go golfing. And it snowed. The snow stayed for the whole 4 days we were there. And I'd never seen snow. My grandpa had never seen snow there before. And it was a lot. Like, the hole in the sky, yeah, it opened up while we were there. I mean, I think in the time I lived there for 2 years. It rained once, I think, in 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the whole time we were there, it snowed every day. Yeah,
That's funny.
it was wild.
Yeah, you don't think of the weather patterns like that being crucial very often. But like when a few years ago, I did some promo stuff for the airport over in Pendleton, the drone airport, UAS airport, and their test center. And some of their stats is that they have over 200 days a year of clear weather. And
That makes sense.
yeah, I don't think we have that because we've got the mountains so close to us. But you don't think in terms of, I really like our environment compared to Pendleton. But if for an airport, for a testing center.
That's perfect. Yeah.
That's a real advantage.
It's hotter over there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I know where I lived on the west side, I think they average like 280 days of rain or snow a year. Something stupid
that's
like that.
That's
It's
exhausting.
miserable. Yeah, it rains a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the west side. It's
Well, and
annoying.
I have family in Kalispell, Montana, and that's so beautiful. The mountains
I've been
are
there. Yeah, I've been
but
there.
in Whitefish, that area,
Yep, been there.
But they have a lot of non-clear days. I don't know how you say that. A lot of days that are hazy and
You call them crappy days.
Yeah.
That's what I call them.
yeah, because and you so then you really appreciate like today, man.
Yeah, you'd be like very happy.
Yeah, it's just beautiful out there today.
That I mean, I guess it's good. Like if like the west side, it's good if you own a golf course.
Yeah,
I mean, or farming. I mean, obviously it's the grass seed capital of the world.
right.
That stretch, on 99 where the Willamette Valley, basically. You wouldn't be horrible for water to be a farmer there.
Have you ever thought about, the pioneers being in a wagon train or being in a wagon, and risking your life to bring your family west, and a lot of them launched from St. Louis, I think it was, that area, or wherever. Anyhow, I think that's the beginning of the Oregon Trail. Clearly, people jumped on in different places, but anyhow, a lot of those people, when they finally got to Grand Ronde Valley, they're like, "This is beautiful. Let's just stay here." But those people that made the journey to get to the Willamette Valley, I mean, it was so fertile. So, I mean, the land was just like, man, let's just start a farm right here.
Yeah. I mean, that's why they grow. There's only like 2 places in the world where Pinot Noir grapes grow good.
Yeah.
And one of them is the Willamette Valley.
Yeah.
And the other is like some like little like village in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, they just have. Yeah, there's a reason why everything grows well there.
Yeah, Tanya and I went through there not too long ago, and we got a coffee at a coffee shop, and we were talking about hazelnuts,
Oh yeah.
but a lot of the hazelnut farms are converting to wineries, to vineyards.
Probably just not as much money in
Right,
hazelnuts
that's
anymore.
that's exactly what it was.
It's
Do
good.
hazelnuts grow on a vine or a tree?
Tree. It's funny because my ex, her grandparents were
Yeah.
hazelnut farmers. They grass seed and hazelnut, and they use these things. They like put them on the tree and
I've seen it. I've
they
seen
shake
that.
the heck out of the tree.
Yeah, it kind of lays out a
Yeah, like
upside umbrella type
Yep.
of a thing, and then
shake
the
the
machine.
hell out of it. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Hazelnuts grow on trees, and then they also grew. So they grew pumpkins because they were squash. Excuse
Yeah.
me. Those David. You can get pumpkin seeds, David, in the
Yeah.
little bag. Those aren't pumpkin seeds. Those are squash seeds.
Oh,
Just So
really?
you know, yeah. Her dad was like the biggest supplier of seeds to David sunflower seeds in the whole country, and but here's the crazy thing: most squash farmers in America, they buy the squash. They or seed farmers. They buy the squash. They don't grow it. It's cheaper to buy it than to try to keep the weeds out because they don't have a machine that weeds off the ground. So it has to be hand weeded.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
It has to be hand.
right.
And so they just buy the squash and bring it in and process it.
Huh.
Dry the seeds, sell the seeds. Yeah, very few of the seed people actually grow the squash. It's crazy. Yeah. I learned that being married to her. Like I was like, well, where do they grow all this? We don't grow that. We buy it. I was like, oh, well then, how's it called farming and not processing?
Well, so when they buy it, and then what do they do with it?
Process it.
Oh, okay.
They put it in a machine and it separates the seeds from the
Right.
muck, and then they sell the muck to whatever, like feed or
Right.
and then they take the seeds and they put them in this big dryer.
Okay.
And then they bag them up and sell them to different, whether it's seed for growing more or whether it's seed for eating, because
Yeah.
people do eat the pumpkin seeds.
It's funny. Think of the things that people, in the past when you would process something like that, a lot of it maybe you just end up throwing away. It would rot and it would become fertilizer, and you'd mix it in or whatever. Yep. And now there's so much of that stuff that is utilized. Every bit of it is utilized somewhere along the way.
I wonder how much food consumable food we throw away for Halloween.
For Halloween?
Yeah, just in pumpkins.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of people don't do nothing with it. They sit them outside. They don't even. My family, we always took the seeds and put them in the oven, roasted them, put a little garlic salt on.
But do you have to separate them out?
Yeah. But that was like one of the
processes.
Part of the process.
Yeah.
You clean them, you separate them, and then you throw them on paper towels and you let them sit out for a while, and then you put a little olive oil on them and a little salt, and you put them in the oven and roast them, and they're good.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time you ever cleaned out a pumpkin as a kid?
No.
I mean, I remember that feeling of like, when you reach in there, it's like, ugh. I mean, and it's not unlike dressing out your first animal.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't remember a lot of stuff in my childhood. As a young kid, no.
Have you ever shot a deer or something and had to dress it out and all that?
I have. Yeah. Actually, I've done quite a few elk, actually.
Yeah, and that's a process. For me, the first time I did that, first time I watched it was with my dad, and everything was a science lesson for him. Because he was a county agent and into biology and all of that stuff. And so then, so as we're dressing out the deer, it's like, okay, here's the heart, here's the lungs, here's it was super interesting at the time. And
it's not much difference from the frog you dissect in 5th grade.
No, it's not. But you know what? I didn't do that.
Except for it doesn't smell like formaldehyde.
No, and it was and the smell. Oh my gosh.
It's a different smell. It's a minerally smell. It's weird.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the smell of when you're dressing out an animal.
Yeah, it's a minerally smell. The blood, you smell the
the
minerals in the blood.
Yeah, and I don't know who I was telling Tanya the other day. It's like my mom. Once you know that smell, you associate it with freshness.
Yeah.
And so then when you do buy a steak somewhere, and you smell that, you know right off whether it's fresh or not.
I've helped process quite a few sheep too.
Oh yeah.
And it's the same exact smell.
Yeah.
Even though sheep smell completely different, right?
Right.
When they're alive,
right.
They smell like wet wool or
right.
Whatever. And once you cut them open, it's that same smell.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's a mineral. I think you're smelling like the minerals in the blood. I think.
I've not had much experience with sheep, but one thing that we did do when I was a kid, as a side job, my dad would core wool. You know what that is? Wool. When the wool ends up going in these gigantic sock-like. It's a bale. It's not maybe they were in bales too. Anyhow, we would take and it was a big drill, and you just do a core sample. So a lot of sheep wool would come in.
Yeah.
And it would have to be examined to determine its price. And then we would take you just drill and take this sample out, and you'd put that sample in a plastic.
Just to make sure they're not putting all the crappy stuff in the middle.
Well, and then somebody, our process was just gathering the cores.
Yeah.
And then they would send it to somebody that would determine the value of that.
They do the exact same thing with fish, with tuna.
Do they?
Yeah, when they're selling those big tuna in Japan,
yeah,
a guy comes in with a thing and he slides it in the fish and he pulls it out and you can see the different fat rings and everything. Yeah, they do the exact same thing. No, I've never seen that done because at the very first stage, which you're just shearing,
right,
putting it into burlap bags and sending it off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's it.
Right, and that was, So I hadn't seen that end. I hadn't seen that end of wool. I had kind of seen the other end of wool. And then when I was a kid, when I was a college student, we went to New Zealand with a choir, and wool and sheep is just the hills
everywhere.
are just, yeah. And that was just another fascinating end of it.
I don't like mutton.
Mutton, the meat itself?
I'll eat like lamb.
Yeah.
I'll eat like a young,
Yeah, right.
But mutton, like the old, like it, no,
It has a really different taste.
funky.
Yeah.
And
I
you
don't even
can't
know how to
slip it by
describe
me
it. It's
either.
not wild,
It's just.
but it does kind of have a gamey, yeah.
I think and then on top of that, the weird taste, and then on top of that, knowing, like, once you clean out so many dingleberries and maggots and hoof rot,
Yeah.
you just, your affinity towards the animal changes, I think. Like,
Well,
but a little baby lamb, it's never
but-
had hoof rot.
But if you get, but pork is like that same. If you dive very far into, pork and what they will eat,
oh,
what they will consume.
have you ever? Well, I'm assuming you probably haven't, because you would know. I got wild boar bacon one time.
Uh-huh.
It is the worst smelling. Oh, do not cook it in your house ever. Your house will smell for weeks. Yeah, boar bacon is disgusting. So that's the male with his parts still.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
You do not want that meat cooked in your house at all, because there's
Really?
some testosterone, or I don't know what it is, but there's something that just oh.
Yeah.
I'll
Is it-
never forget that smell.
Is it good to eat once it's
Yeah,
cooked?
it tasted great,
Huh.
but the smell was
But smell of it being
disgusting.
cooked was just
Yep.
like, huh? That's
Yeah, it tasted really good actually, but the smell was. I don't even like thinking about it. Oh man, it's nasty.
Do you like shrimp and lobster?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I love it.
I
Yeah.
do too. Yeah, it's funny because I've heard the story of like them rebranding. I mean, it used to be that bottom fish. Well, and even there's some religions that you don't eat bottom fish.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
crustaceans, or
Right,
yeah,
right.
shellfish.
But
or,
somehow lobster went through some kind of a rebranding process, like in the 40s or 50s or whatever.
when they
it might-
figured out how good it tastes.
Yes.
Like, oh well, I guess it's not really a shellfish.
But there's a lot of things that you add
Big
butter.
mole.
You add butter to it.
Yeah, you could add butter to a cat turd and it probably tastes good. I always say that.
I mean,
like,
but it's like, popcorn's that way. Popcorn is like,
oh, with real butter.
but with butter,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But, like microwave popcorn's good and all, but you cannot beat like a home popped. Like you heat the real butter up in the microwave and just dump it all over that.
yeah.
Oh my.
No, see,
God.
we have an air popper,
Yeah.
and
The Jiffy probably.
And yep, and I've got that process. I got that. I mean, I'll bet this air popper is 25 years old, 30 years old.
Like it's the one that sits up like this with like the yellow top
Yeah,
and the
yep.
little dish on top.
Yep.
Yeah, we had one of those growing
Yeah,
up.
and it's like, and I've got that process down because
No, hey, that thing on top, that's to melt butter.
It
really.
is.
But I'm putting way more butter now. Like, I'm putting it in a coffee cup and putting it in the microwave.
no, that's my process. My process is I start the thing, I dump the popcorn in, take a half a cube of butter, and melt it, and then just as it's coming out a little
you're
bit,
just dipping a little.
I spin the bowl
Oh,
and kind of
beautiful.
drizzle
Yep.
it on,
Yep.
And then I've got some Kaufmann's. They have a number of different salts and different stuff for seasonings for popcorn,
Yeah. I like it just plain up butter and salt. Like, I don't like all those weird flavors.
Well, but they have. I agree, but the salt that I have it's not but it's fine. So it's not.
It's popcorn salt.
Yeah,
They make
so it's a real fine.
Yeah, so you're not eating the popcorn and getting like that salt grain.
Yeah. Yep. Nope.
They make a salt that's called popcorn salt, and it's basically like powder.
Yeah,
You just-
yeah. And like I said, I got the process down. So it's like
Oh, man,
I'll
I
float.
love it.
I'll hold the salt thing up, and so then the powder, it just kind of floats, and I'll give it a coating, and then I'll stir it up and give it another coat. Yeah, I got that. I got that. I don't know how many bowls of popcorn I have made like that.
I love pop. I love it, but very specific.
Yeah.
Real butter, only way to go. Like if you try to give me some popcorn with some margarine on it, I'm gonna put it right back. I do not like margarine at all. We were poor when I was a kid, so that's all we had.
I'm same way with you.
I don't like it.
agree. I didn't have butter. When Tanya and I got married, it'll be 18 years this year. Tanya and I got married. She was a real butter girl, and
She turned you on to it.
Yep,
My
yep.
grandparents, so that was like one of the highlights of going to grandma and grandpa's. Because they, like, margarine, what is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd go to grandma's house and you say, Grandma, I want some toast. And she would take the Oro wheat rye bread and she'd toast it for you. She'd put real butter on it, and then she'd have Knott's Berry Farm raspberry preserves, and she'd put it on there and bring it out there. Oh, my gosh.
You talk about food prep. It's always tastes better when somebody else makes it for you.
Yeah, way better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the
You
same.
cook the exact same thing, and it's always better.
I mean, it's the
if
same way.
somebody else cooks it.
My brother, once about the second or third day of leftover steak, I like to have a steak sandwich, a cold steak sandwich on toast, and my brother, he would make the best. And every time I make one, I think of him as like, okay, this is good. Because it's like, I cut the steak up so that it's easy to bite and, and separate and put it on toast with mayonnaise and ketchup and pickles. And
Mayonnaise, ketchup, and pickles. That's strange.
yeah, and man, but every time I make one, I think it's like, this would be so much better if Brian made it for me.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's the same way with your grandma. If somebody else makes cinnamon toast for you or whatever it might be, it's like, it is just, yeah.
My grandma used to make eggs in a cup. So she loved poached eggs.
Okay.
And they had this old egg poacher, put the eggs in, it poaches the
Yeah.
eggs for you. Well, then she would make a piece of toast and butter it and tear it all up and put it in the cup and then take the poached egg and put it in there and stir it all around. And you basically had like this eggy bread, you know what I mean? Like a poached egg mixed with toast in a cup. Yeah, and you eat it with a spoon. Yeah. That was good. But my grandma, that's all she did was like make little breakfast things like that. My grandpa was the cook. My grandpa, his whole time in the military, he was in charge of the mess halls. And then when he started at the Federal Bureau of Prisons, he was the food service administrator. And then he worked his way up to warden. But Grandpa cooked at my wedding.
Yeah.
And he slayed it.
Now, you're not a big milk drinker, is that right?
I don't drink any milk.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Zero.
So my dad loved milk toast. And he got that from being poor. Because there was a time when that's all. But still, when Mom would make fresh bread, he would take and get a big slice it pretty thick and toast it, and then put it in a cereal bowl, toast it with
Put
butter.
some butter on it.
With a lot of butter.
It has
on
to
it.
have butter.
Yeah, with a lot of butter, and then just a little bit of milk and salt. And it was delicious. But thinking back on it, it's really the salt and butter.
Yeah,
tastes
it
good.
does. My grandpa would do something similar. He'd take leftover rice, and he would just dump sugar on it and then milk, and he would eat that. And
Yeah,
I didn't like milk, so I tried it a few times.
Leftover rice with sugar and cinnamon.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Put some milk on it sometime and try it.
No, I
like that.
did. I was. Yeah.
My grandpa would eat that all the time.
Yeah. But boy, you think of like the nutrition in that is nil.
No, yeah, no. It's not. Yeah, it's not.
No. Yeah. But when you grow up with some of that stuff, and it's like, well, that's all we had to eat, or
Yeah.
didn't have enough money for eggs or whatever the case might be, Yeah. Funny stuff.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we're glad you guys are watching. Compost your pumpkin seeds and feed them to the livestock.
No, your pumpkins.
Pumpkins,
Yeah.
yes, okay, yeah.
Or feed them. To
No,
the
hey,
livestock.
you guys are always, those of you that are watching, we love it. We love to have you throw into the conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you. for doing that. So, well, hey, you want to get us out of
Let's
here?
do it. On this day, July 10th, 1919, U.S. President Woodrow Wilson personally delivers the Treaty of Versailles to Senate, signed June 28th, which formally ended World War I between the Germans and the Allied powers.
Some people say that treaty is the reason the World War
Two
II
started?
had it.
Yeah.
Because because it was so severe for Germany.
Yeah. Well, as it should have been.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
1933, the first ever police radio system is operated in Eastchester Township, New York. 1965, on this day, July 10th, the Rolling Stones scored their first #1 U.S. single, I Can't Get No Satisfaction. 2019, and I only really put science stuff from Nature because it's one of the few sources that's really trustworthy on the internet. And the earliest evidence of modern humans is outside Africa is found, so outside of Africa. 210,000-year-old skull from Apodema Cave in southern Greece. And that's published in Nature. And to get published in Nature, it has to be extremely credible. On this day, the #1 movie in America in 1985, Back to the Future. Hit McFly.
Great Scott! Didn't he say that word?
Yeah,
I was going to say.
that's exactly what he says.
Yeah.
And you can get the McFlys. They're extremely expensive. But they're the shoes, the auto lace. Nike makes, they made those.
Really?
Yeah, because they're Nikes in the movie. And they actually auto lace. They're very expensive.
I drove a DeLorean once.
I never have.
It was a weird.
I've seen a couple.
It was a weird. Yeah, it wasn't rocket powered like that one
did
or
it
whatever.
need
Yeah.
the continuum transponder or whatever that thing is that take you to back?
Yes,
That
what
would be
is that
awesome.
word? Anyhow, go ahead.
I think it is continuum transponder.
No, that's a slaughtered version of what it is.
Yeah,
But
that's close enough.
Yeah.
The quote for the day is, I don't remember who it came from. It's probably on there. Oh, unknown. The distance between dreams and reality is called action. One more time. The distance between dreams and reality is called action.
All right.
That's it on a Thursday. You got baseball games tomorrow down at Optimist. 2 and 7 for LeGrand. They play Baker and Fruitland. And that's the 16-year-old and under LeGrand Legends Legion team playing tomorrow.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, if you're a business out there or you know of one, and don't forget we're looking for advertisers for the Shrine football game. It's a great regional advertising opportunity.
Yep, for sure.
Yep. And so be sure and check it out. Thank you guys for being with us today.
See you next week.
Yep. We'll be right here.